trigger on, if they do start to decompensate, you can turn it off. Diuretics, if they are fluid overloaded, and if they're unstable, you can try AFib. If they're unstable with AFib, you can try cardioversion. I tried sending out some of your attendings might have gotten, I tried sending out a survey, it didn't work at all, but wanted to talk to you guys about what makes you guys, in this patient and other patients who are unstable, what's your trigger to cardiovert someone? Are you looking for a thrombus before you cardiovert them? Are you doing electrical or chemical cardioversion? I can get some answers from you guys now. Dr. Schechter, now would be a good time.
I personally cardiovert somebody who's like unstable.
What's unstable mean?
Hypotensive, and I think it has to do with their dysrhythmia. So, I don't think the person's septic. I'm not gonna just cardiovert every single septic patient. Like I said, it's somebody who you think that the main cause of their instability is their heart rate. So I don't think I would jump to just shock everybody. I think you need to know the patient, and I probably would try chemical first, depending on the patient. It's hard to really say that there's like hard guidelines. I think I would play depending on use the information that I have about the patient to decide whether or not to cardiovert. I think somebody with a who's unstable tachycardia is actually relatively rare as the only cause of their instability. As opposed to sepsis or this patient who had a thyroid storm. There's a lot of things going on, and I don't know if shocking that patient was the right thing for that patient at that time.
I don't know either. It's just a question I brought up as far as you're going through all these slides looking for it. Because we don't do it very typical for AFib or VR. Which patients are we?
Nuance that you could also shock those patients, but you have to really know that it's new onset. And you can chemically cardiovert. I don't cardiovert patients with new onset AFib.
What do you use?
Propanamide.
I've done 2 chemical and probably 2 electrical. The electrical ones for people who are very hypotensive and super high rates, like 170, 180, 190. The chemical ones, one was a AFib induced by methylphenidate, by coffee, by caffeine, and they were getting married the next day, so we used Albuterol. It worked, but there is that 8% chance of torsades. It was a little bit worrisome giving it, but it worked out well. No, it's just one time. But they converted in about 45 minutes in front of me. And then I did it once with propanamide. That worked relatively well also.
Silver, I know you wouldn't, but would any of the other attendings look with the ultrasounds look for a thrombus before doing it?
That's why that's the new onset. You have to make sure you know the history really well. The patient I did with propanamide, she was getting an endoscopy and went into AFib on the monitor.
That's great. Great. Why would you look at the ultrasound?
To look if there's a thrombus.
But you can't see it. So if you see it, would you not do it?
No, but would you even take a look to see? You can, there are thrombus you can see. It's not a TE, which is the best, but some people do look.
What would it stop you from converting that on state?
That's why I'm calling you guys.
I want to make one comment. Just in terms of instability, hypotension should be your only criteria. Someone who's used to the infarcting, persistent chest pain, that's something else you should think about it. And then you could even make an argument if someone is becoming more unstable with respiratory failure or something like that. There's something you can say on the intubation. But obviously, it's case by case.
And if you haven't intubated already, it's actually really easy. You don't have to worry about sedation.
So it shouldn't just be hypotension. There's other criteria.
Some other questions over here? Yeah, Bloomberg.
Did this patient ever have a CTPA?
No. 2.
Is it like more along the lines of hypertension? I found that a lot of these patients who are in AFib with RDR, the blood pressure cuts just don't pick up well. So they all seem to kind of be hypotensive. So I think mental status is also another good thing to go by, besides just.
It's a really good point. The way the electronic blood pressure cuffs work, for tachycardia, it's not actually accurate. Just the way they function, because they need a somewhat slower heart rate to pick up an accurate blood pressure.
Oh, Dr. Jake.
I agree with Jimmy also. We have to evaluate the patient. I had a woman in UHD, an elderly lady, who was in very fast AFib and was in some CHF. And we actually, though, at the beginning her pressure was okay, we gave her cardiogram, the pressure went down, but she was still a bit. She was like around 90, 80. She was awake and alert. She didn't want us bothering her too much. So I actually did not electrical cardioversion her. I could say she didn't really want it and stuff. And so I actually tried to bring up her pressure. And then we got her pressure up, and then we gave amiodarone, and that actually controlled the AFib. So you have to pick the patients you're doing and make a decision. This woman did not want to be cardiovert, even though she was somewhat hypotensive. And since she was mentating, I decided to go along with what she wanted. The other thing is you have to be careful when you pick the drugs that you're doing. Again, I've seen procainamide once really put someone who with bad cardiac output, put them into pulmonary edema that didn't respond to anything, as well as make them very hypotensive. You have to be careful using procainamide in patients with poor ejection fractions and also with borderline or hypotensive. If you're going to use a drug in those cases, you might be better off amiodarone.
So,
Remember, if you're going to give the cardiogram and they start to drop that pressure, you can give them calcium, and it sometimes helps the pressure come back up. It's one of the reasons why ER docs like the calcium channel blockers better than beta blockers for rate control.
all right, so I'm going to continue to talk about dysrhythmia-induced cardiomyopathy. So this is similar to the high-output heart failure, but it's kind of like long-standing. So if you have this AFib with RVR for a very long time, they're eventually going to become and get a decreased EF. Okay? So with these kind of patients, you can treat them like a regular heart failure patients. I would be careful using the beta blockers like you would in the high output heart failure. If you're going to use a esmolol or something very fast on, fast off, you could try digoxin if you're going to try and cardiovert them. If the cardioversion doesn't work, you can always try digoxin. And with the antidysrhythmics, amiodarone, we obviously have to be careful in these kind of patients who already have thyroid storm, so the iodine is not something that we need. But as far as the antidysrhythmics and cardioverting, there's always a chance of throwing in clots. But with these patients who are in bad heart failure, especially our patients who have a very high proportion of diastolic heart failure, we really need that atrial kick. And it's said to be 10% of our EF in a normal patient, but these patients with diastolic dysfunction, it can be up to 40% of the function without having the atrial kick. So it's something to definitely consider if the patient's unstable.
Remember that when you cardiovert somebody, they don't get mechanical activity out of the atrium for hours. So the reason your blood pressure comes up is really that rate control and more filling time than the atrial kick. Because you don't get electrical mechanical association for like 2 to 3 hours, they say.
Digoxin takes a bunch of hours to work. So
Yeah.
don't expect a lot of digoxin and watch. It takes a few hours.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, if the cardioversion doesn't work,
Take a
yeah.
big dose up front and try and it's called visualizing them, and it takes probably like 6 hours to kick in. But it's a good drug once it's on board, but it's hard to get a good level of it.
And then as far as the AFib, in the thyroid storm patients, a lot of the thyroid storm patients are going to get tachycardic. That's the most common, but up to 15% can get atrial fibrillation. And are these patients that were going to be anticoagulating like normal patients? So all the guidelines still say to use the CHADS-2 VAST scoring system. There's nothing specific for these patients as far as a different scoring system. These patients actually do have a hypercoagulable state, even though our patients had the INR of 6, they had bilateral DVTs. And the patient was in the middle of going into DIC at that point. But thyroid toxicosis can shorten your PT time, it can increase your level 13 levels, and other kinds of coagulation factors. So these patients are actually at a higher risk of getting a clot, even though the INRs might be a little off with these kind of patients.
Just realize with AFib in general, nobody needs anticoagulation in the emergency department. is for long-term stroke prevention. So there's nobody who needs to get a dose of any sort of anticoagulation for the treatment of AFib. That can be started as an outpatient, as a pill. That there's no rush to anticoagulate these patients.
And then lastly, I want to talk about esmolol. Not necessarily during sepsis, but just as a medication. When we get these kind of patients, we're very afraid to treat the heart rate, as we should, because they can bottom out. But given that this is very similar to a thyroid storm in the way they present, a beta blockade may actually help with the diastole of these kind of patients. So this is a study. It was 154 patients, then they randomized into 2 groups, and the goal heart rate was between 80 to 94. And it actually showed there's a decreased mortality, ICU length, and norepi utilization when you were given the esmolol. There's other articles that do show that starting the esmolol too early can bottom them out. So starting with the fluid bolus is definitely appropriate in these septic patients, but esmolol might not be the most blasphemous thing in sepsis. Like right now, we're taught not to really use it, but if someone's unstable and tachycardic and you're treating their fluid status, esmolol may be something that could help their diastole and could help their filling. Okay, questions? So you see?
So one thing that's important, these guys come in with chest pain, you're going to have to give them an aspirin for their chest pain. Remember that thyroid hormone is very hydrophobic, so it's all protein bound, and so is aspirin. So when you give them aspirin, it displaces thyroid hormone off the binding proteins, and then gets you more active thyroid hormone in the bloodstream. So it'll make your condition worse. So these guys really should not get aspirin.
I just have more of a comment. I think it's sort of been a theme through your presentation, but going back to our case and the medications he got when he first came in, is thinking about using, more on-off medications when we're still in that very early undifferentiated state, that in that first 5 minutes when they get into recess and they're in heart failure, some piocardism and IV enalapril isn't going to change that acute management, so you can do the things that we know acutely change them, and you can turn on and off while you're differentiating the case a little bit more so that we're not as committed.
Yeah, I think esmolol should definitely be higher up on our list. And that was going through all this research on this paper. Esmolol is just going higher and higher up on the medication that I would use. It's quick on, quick off. If someone starts to drop, like this patient did drop during the course. Esmolol is a very good medication and something that we should be thinking about a little bit earlier.
And even the push.
Esmolol has more of a chronotropic effect than an ionotropic effect too. So it's going to slow you down more than it's going to drop your pressure.
This is a really tough case. I'm trying to figure out what happened to this guy. I'm not even sure. Why is he in DIC? Did anybody have any theories?
They tried going through the testing every type of liver, because he wound up going through liver failure, so they're thinking that was
Did he
because
have cancer?
they didn't find it. Maybe it was cancer, maybe it was...
He didn't seem like septic enough to have DIC, right? He came in, his blood pressure was 180 to 125, his lactate was 2.9. Say that he had the DIC before all the other effects that sepsis has, seems a little bit strange to me.
Do you have any cultures growing?
Nothing grew.
Nothing grew.
Did you get any CAT scans?
Not that I saw. I don't remember. I just was going I think we got it. Susan.
So like,
Right, yeah.
thanks, that was a great discussion, by the way, thanks. But just, all of those points were good, especially thinking about what the cause of the underlying etiology of atrial fibrillation is very important. When I heard you did a great job, did a lot of research, did multiple revisions, and I think what came up from the discussion is that what's postulated is that one of the mechanisms of thyroid storm is heightened sensitivity to catecholamines. So if you kind of approach it like, intensivists like to do that, they don't really have a lot of evidence, so they approach things physiologically, they say. It's really like they try to sound smart, but if it's heightened sympathetic response, hyper-response to catecholamines, and esmolol kind of makes sense, right? Same thing with dysregulation, sepsis, and catecholamine release. So that's kind of why I had Eric present that direct research about Esmol and sepsis because it's heightened sympathetic tone and Esmol, like, sort of makes sense in these patients. Now, this patient's going to be, where was this patient? UHB or I don't know.
UHB.
Or UHB, this patient's probably put in the resuscitation room or in Kings County, he'll be in CCT. You have Esmol, use it. Patients in a critical care area, you use the drug. And get used to using it because I think now that we have that, we don't really need digoxin anymore. Digoxin is for like, Dr. Dersheimer, my teachers. Damn. A little bit more experience than us, in some ways. But like there's better medications out there to use. Ultrasound, if you look at you can visually inspect the ejection fraction. It will help you guide what medications you choose, right? If you have intact or a good ejection fraction, you'll preload reduce. If you have a poor systolic function or low ejection fraction, you might avoid nitrates and maybe just give an ACE inhibitor to help contractility. So there's use of ultrasound, I think, important in this case to differentiate between the three different types of acute heart failure syndrome.
Did they consider using the oceanephrine when this guy drops the pressure to get a pressure that would not affect the heart?
They just wrote down leave it to use
Something to think about. It's got just a simple alpha effect with no beta at all. It will bring the pressure up, but it won't drive them any faster.
So a few comments. Another interesting thing about this case is apparently they did do a DVT study.
Inpatient, yeah.
Negative.
It is all in the heart.
No, and also when they were trying to place the femoral line, and then they couldn't get access, they were thinking because it's all clot.
So we actually, I was helping with the line on this case. We actually did look with the ultrasound because we couldn't access the femoral vein on either side. And when you saw it, neither of the veins looked like a normal vein. It looked like DVTs, both sides. And we couldn't get it on the right. I don't know why the note said right, because we couldn't get it on the right, so we went on to the left, and we couldn't get the left, and then somebody did something fancy and finally got it. But
there was a right
like there were
IJ.
clots in the femoral veins, both sides.
Just like a diagnostic question. So on this patient, I guess you were there, what prompted you guys to get a TSH? Was a combination of the heart failure and the AFib, or?
So I wasn't there when the patient first came in. They already knew about thyroid stuff by the time I showed up. But the patient said thyroid something he didn't really know.
Oh, because when he said something about her.
He said
I'm just wondering, like someone.
I think someone tachycardic AFib with RVR, you should be getting
TSH.
Septic looking picture, you don't really know. And this was like a subacute kind of process. This was going on for 2 to 3 weeks. He was mentioning.
Diarrhea was also big everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, diarrhea.
Anyone have any questions? Bloomberg.
I have no idea what the answer to this question is, but like with other sympathetic processes, is there any role for benzodiazepines or clonidine or dexmedetomidine, anything like that? Or is this
Not
just
that I came across, because I don't know if that's.
I don't know.
Not that I come across. I mean, cocaine, yes. But I think esmolol is a much faster quick off kind of medication.
For thyroid storm in general.
Yeah.
for the catecholamines.
Because thyroid, the way that thyroid hormone works is it kind of sensitizes your body to the beta-adrenergic receptors. So beta blockers are really is the best medication for this.
Right. Last few comments. So for high apnea heart failure, so while the management is eventually you're going to treat the fluid overload, you have to treat the underlying cause, whether it's the anemia, AV fistula, thiamine deficiency, whatever. But if they're acutely hypertensive, and like Dr. Silver mentioned, tenolone would be a good choice because their problem is low systemic vascular resistance, but their cardiac output is fine. And then that's kind of the underlying theme is all these things you have to treat the underlying etiology, and then heart rate control and things like that kind of present to that. The other thing is with like DIC, it's all with supportive care in this patient. And you may even want to consider if it's not getting any better, things like MARS or SPAD, which we don't have here, but if the patient's sick enough, they may need transfer to like a center that has like liver valve.